Hi, Leela here from Relationship Ready, and I'm kind of tickled pink to be doing this video. One of the things that we work with our clients is how to show up with a sort of level of openness to dating so that they can kind of more intuitively date and have much less requirements or tick boxes on their mind, so they can be less distracted in order to sort of know what feels right. And I found an area of my life somewhat recently where I found out that I'm essentially having all of the struggles that I see our clients have in their relationship lives, but with real estate. I mean, it's funny to me because it took me a while to spot it. So what I've been doing, so for 5 years, I've been looking to buy a home with my husband and family. And we really sort of had, you know, an idyllic idea. You know, it's got to have a garden and the kitchen's got to be a certain way. And I just had like my real tick list of what I thought would make us happy in a home. Now, here's the funny thing is I looked for 5 years, but I only looked online. And so everything was like, oh no, that doesn't kind of work. That doesn't work. That doesn't work. That doesn't work. And one day it occurred to me, how are you going to actually know what these houses are like unless you step foot inside a building and see how it feels? One of the people we worked with was talking about how frustrated, you know, she was sitting at home on her couch wondering why she was single, but she wasn't actually going on any dates and was wondering, you know, kind of how that was happening. And for me, that was happening with finding a home. So what was fascinating is the first house we walked into, immediately I got a sense of what I liked or didn't like about it. Not in a critical way. I was just much more intuitive about it. I was like, oh, it's interesting. I thought the kitchen was going to have to be this kind of shape, but I really quite like how they've had this set up. Or, oh, this isn't how I imagined a garden to be, but actually, and so I didn't fall in love with that first house, but it opened my mind to sort of what actually in real time I actually appreciate about a home. So every home we looked in for the next, I would say, so we've been looking for about 6 months, has given me a deeper sense of what I like the feel of and what doesn't really make sense to me or doesn't really resonate with me in terms of the qualities of a home. And I've also realized you just can't match up an actual house to what looks like it's online. There's just no lining up. They're always very mismatched. So either the pictures are terrible and then you show up and it's like, wow, this is actually quite nice. Or, oh, this looks so lovely and it's actually really pokey. So going from something online is really unhelpful. And I think that's the same with dating. And the other thing is that when I stepped in, I didn't go off a tick list. I just walked in and got really affected by the feeling of the homes that we walked into and much more intuitively started to get a clearer feeling for what I was drawn to. And actually what I've ended up feeling like was more important to me now is not on my original tick list. And so we ended up looking at a house recently. We walked in, actually it's a flat, and there's lots of reasons why I ruled it out. Well, it's a first floor flat and I want to open out onto a garden immediately, or, oh, it's on a busy road. Da, da, da. But I walk into this house flat and every room I step into, I'm delighted and surprised and get full up with this feeling of hopefulness. And I basically fell in love with the property. So many of the things that I thought I needed or were a requirement or a sort of, you know, a hardline basic of where I was willing to live didn't match up to this property. And I really liked the feeling of the place. It was almost less like the things that I thought mattered. So this place didn't have a huge kitchen, but it opened out onto the living room through like a cubby. I thought I would have just ruled out a kitchen that wasn't open plan immediately or didn't sit a certain way. And it was just the feeling of the place that really drew me. Now we put an offer in, we don't know whether it will get accepted, but it actually doesn't matter because I've got a whole new vision for what it means to step into a building. And if this one doesn't work out, I know another one will. And so dating the real estate market now for me is a totally different experience.